Meet me where love is the only truth left standing. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. Meet me when your soul craves more than just empty words. Meet me in the fragments of your past. I see your beauty. Meet me when your heart learns to forgive the unforgivable. Meet me where your silence is louder than your screams. Meet me when your soul blooms despite all the storms. Meet me in the truth you hide behind 1,000 smiles. Meet me when your heart chooses courage over comfort. Meet me where your broken dreams become a constellation. Meet me when your soul burns with the fire of new love. Meet me where your hearts become sacred maps. Meet me when your silence is a prayer for healing. Meet me in the space where your love becomes revolution. Meet me when your soul refuses to settle for loneliness. Meet me where your heart breaks open to wild possibilities. Meet me when your pain transforms into fierce compassion. Meet me in the quiet places where your soul speaks loudest. Meet me when your heart learns the language of true surrender. Meet me where love is raw, honest, and unapologetically fierce. Meet me when your soul embraces the beauty in brokenness. Meet me where your heart finally finds its home in love. Meet me when your heart aches enough to break free from chains. Meet me where your soul trembles but refuses to give up. Meet me in the silence where your fears dissolve into trust. Meet me when your love becomes a fierce act of rebellion. Meet me where your tears become the language of your healing. Meet me when your soul whispers for a love that never fades. Meet me where vulnerability is the bravest thing you wear. Meet me in the place where broken hearts rewrite their stories. Meet me when your soul remembers how to hope again. Meet me where your wounds become wings and you learn to fly. Meet me when your silence is louder than 1,000 lies. Meet me in the spaces where your heart dares to dream. Meet me when your soul stops running and finally stands still. Meet me where your pain becomes the spark of your power. Meet me when your heart learns to love its own shadows. Meet me where your brokenness is the canvas of your truth. Meet me when your soul craves a love fierce enough to burn. Meet me where your scars become stars, lighting our darkest nights. Meet me when your heart beats despite every reason to stop. Meet me in the silence between your regrets and your forgiveness. Meet me when your soul dances with both pain and hope. Meet me where your love refuses to hide behind fear. Meet me when your heart learns the courage to fall again. Meet me in the quiet moments no one else understands. Meet me when your soul surrender to the wildness of love. Meet me where your wounds bloom into the flowers of healing. Meet me when your heart chooses softness over the armor. Meet me in the place where love breaks all your rules. Meet me when your soul refuses to settle for less than truth. Meet me where your silence hides the screams of your soul. Meet me when your heart is raw enough to be real. Meet me in the shadows where your deepest fears dissolve. Meet me when your soul becomes fierce enough to heal itself. Meet me where your love burns bright despite the coldest nights. Meet me when your heart stops begging for answer and just feels. Meet me in the sacred space where your soul becomes free. Meet me when your scars tell stories only love can understand. Meet me where your silence becomes the loudest prayer. Meet me when your soul learns to embrace the broken pieces. Meet me in the moments you feel most unseen. I see you. Meet me when your heart finds strength in its vulnerability. Meet me where your love is wild, unfiltered, and unapologetic. Meet me when your soul refuses to hide behind pain's mask. Meet me in the quiet rebellion of your unspoken dreams. Meet me when your heart beats louder than your fears. Meet me where your soul's wounds become the wellspring of love. Meet me when your silence is a confession of your deepest truth. Meet me in the moments your heart breaks open to healing. Meet me when your soul chooses love over loneliness every time. Meet me where your scars are the sacred maps of your journey. Meet me when your heart dares to trust after endless betrayals. Meet me in the space where your soul feels the universe's embrace. Meet me when your love becomes the revolution your heart craves. Meet me where your silence carries the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes. Meet me when your soul blooms despite the thorns it bears. Meet me in the moments your heart whispers, I am ready. Meet me when your love is fierce enough to break all walls. Meet me where your brokenness is the birthplace of your power. Meet me when your soul dances with shadows and light alike. Meet me in the silence where your heart learns to forgive. My dear, meet me where silence speaks louder than words, and broken souls find peace. Meet me in the shadow where our scars become sacred tattoos of love. Meet me between heartbeats where time forgets and only truth remains. Meet me in the space your loneliness fears to wander. Meet me beneath the surface where your pain whispers and I listen without judgment. Meet me when your walls fall. I promise I won't run. Meet me inside your quiet storms. I'll bring the calm you never knew you needed. Meet me where your eyes stop pretending and start bleeding honesty. Meet me in the cracks of your brokenness. That's where light floods in. Meet me not in promises, but in every honest breath you take. Meet me when the world turns deaf to your cries. I'll be your echo. Meet me where love is raw, messy, and unbearably real. Meet me in the place your heart has been too afraid to touch. Meet me when your soul stops hiding behind bruised smiles. Meet me in the surrender of your guarded heart. Meet me where your silence screams the loudest. I hear it. Meet me on the edge of your fears, where courage is born. Meet me where regret melts into a lesson carved in the stars. Meet me in the space where broken promises turn into sacred truths. Meet me when your soul aches for a love that burns like fire and heals like rain. Meet me where your heart forgets how to run. Meet me in the shadows of your past. I bring no judgment, only understanding. Meet me in the sacred chaos of your restless mind. Meet me when your walls crumble, revealing a love too fragile to fake. Meet me in your wildest pain. That's where I'll find you. Meet me when your soul is naked, trembling with truth. Meet me beyond the fear that convinces you to stay alone. Meet me when your heart finally recognizes the love it deserves. Meet me in the storm where your tear baptized new beginnings. Meet me in the silence where your broken heart learns to sing again. Meet me in the vulnerability that terrifies you most. That's where magic lives. Meet me when your soul whispers, I am ready to love again. Meet me where regret turns into forgiveness, soft and gentle. Meet me in the quiet moments no one else sees or understands. Meet me when your love is wild enough to break all chains. Meet me where your heart aches for connection. I'm waiting. Meet me beyond the lies you tell yourself to survive. Meet me when your silence speaks louder than your fears. Meet me in the shattered pieces of your soul. I'll make you whole. Meet me when your heart stops hiding behind pain's mask. Meet me where your soul burns with a fierce longing for truth. Meet me in the darkness where your wounds become stars. Meet me when you stop running from love and start chasing it. Meet me where the ghosts of your past surrender to hope. Meet me when your heart breaks open like a flower in spring. Meet me where your soul's deepest secrets find no shame. Meet me in the moments you feel most unlovable. I see you. Meet me when your soul is ready to rewrite its story. Meet me in the sacred space between your doubts and dreams. Meet me where your heart still believes in impossible love. Meet me when your soul is tired of pretending it's fine. Meet me in the silence that heals wounds words cannot touch. Meet me when your heart finally trusts again after endless storms. Meet me where your soul dances with vulnerability and strength. Meet me when your scars tell stories only I'm meant to hear. Meet me where your love is fierce enough to shatter illusions. Meet me in the quiet rebellion of your tender heart. Meet me when your soul aches to be truly seen. Meet me where your pain turns into your greatest power. Meet me when your heart stops begging for love and starts receiving it. Meet me in the depth of your silence. That's where I wait. Meet me when your soul remembers how to trust love again. Meet me where your vulnerability becomes your most radiant armor. Meet me when your heart is brave enough to leap without fear. Meet me in the moments you feel most lost. I'll guide you home. Meet me where your brokenness is the language of your truth. Meet me when your soul's hunger becomes a feast of love. Meet me where your tears water the seeds of new beginnings. Meet me when your heart dares to be soft in a cruel world. Meet me in the silence after the storm, where healing begins. Meet me when your soul refuses to settle for anything less than real. Meet me where love is not perfect but fiercely alive. Meet me when your heart remembers its wild, untamed beauty. Meet me in the spaces between your doubts. I am there. Meet me when your soul feels the weight of unspoken dreams. Meet me where your heart beats fiercely against fear's chains. Meet me when your silence carries the weight of unhealed wounds. Meet me in the sacred stillness where your soul finds peace. Meet me when your heart finally believes it is worthy.